Thanks again for subscribing to my 7-part NLP mini course. I hope you really liked the first lesson and you're ready to move on to another powerful exercise. What'd you learn from the first lesson? What'd you learn about how you communicate with yourself? Was it more positive or was it more negative? Remember, how you speak to yourself internally will show externally to others you speak with and you want to influence. Okay, on to our word power. Replace the word problem with the word challenge. And then notice how it feels different inside just when you say the word challenge instead of speaking about a problem. When you use the word challenge, it now seems more possible. In this lesson, we're going to focus on meaning. We place meaning upon those things we say to ourselves. The meaning we place upon events and experiences in our lives determine how we filter and look for in our external world. Now think about this. You get a phone call from a very frantic friend, and after a brief 10 seconds or so, the phone goes dead. What meaning did you place upon this scenario? Was it positive or was it negative? Knowing that friend, what could have it meant to you? Maybe they just found out they got fired, or maybe they were frantic because they just won the lottery. What meaning or meanings do you ascribe to events in your life? How do they serve you, or do they serve you? Remember, use your power for the good of ourselves and others. I'm going to continue to say that in every lesson. Okay, on to the lesson itself. Our external world, what we create, is comprised of primarily of our internal world. What we're seeing, what we're saying, and what we're feeling inside determines what we look for in our external world. And because we're governed by and we behave accordingly to the pain-pleasure principle, our unconscious mind's primary intention is to avoid pain rather than to achieve pleasure. We've been conditioned over the course of our lives to become more aware of what doesn't work. Then we can avoid the pain of having to deal with disappointment, rejection, or failure that it brings so that we don't repeat the same mistakes over and over again. Get it? So how many of us remain focused on the mistakes of the past or what we should be doing in the future? So our awareness is normally focused entirely upon looking at the future to avoid the pain of the past. Does that make sense? We ultimately produce what we focus upon every day. Ralph Waldo Emerson said it best. He says, we become what we think about all day long. So my question for you then is, when something you interpret as negative happens to you, what meaning do you usually place upon it? What do you filter for? What is working or what is not working? This sort of filtering largely determines your outcomes or your results or the goals that you produce. Remember, what you look for in your world shows up. And vice versa. If something happens that is positive, what meaning do you place upon it? You can begin to change and produce massive results in your life simply by changing the meaning that you place upon your experiences and events in your life. Okay, so your exercise for day 2. So building upon the last lesson, notice what you focus on today. The meaning you place upon events, experiences, and results determines what actions you're going to choose to take. If your actions or behaviors are not working for you, then you've got to look at the meaning that you place upon what you're focusing on at the time of making those decisions. Your focus and then meaning will determine the actions you take. This is one of the major points I address in my complete NLP certification course. I show you how easy it is to change your focus to what is working by asking yourself one simple question. And if you're interested in learning what that is, you can purchase the entire training in MP3 format and find out how to make those changes immediately. This is John James Santangelo. Make it a great day.